Nothing will make you look frumpy faster than a bad cardigan. But I like wearing cardigans. They make life easy, right? It's easy to adjust to the temperatures in your home, your office, a restaurant, the movie theater. But it turns out that looking current and stylish in a cardigan is really difficult, or so it seems. It seems like every time I turn around, someone's telling me the cardigan I bought just last year is already out of style. Can you relate? Well, I've been studying the current trends in cardigans and how I'm seeing them worn, and today I've got big tips to share with you so that you can once again feel confident, look current, and stylish in your cardigans. In this video, I'm going to share with you the cardigans you need to stop wearing right now. The cardigans that are surprisingly current, the details to look for, the most current way to wear the cardigans that are already in your wardrobe, and a fun trend to try right away. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 4 action points that have already worked for me, and I think if you'll do these 4 things, you're going to feel more confident in your cardigans right away. Welcome to Dress for My Day. My name is Kay, and I'm so glad you've joined me for this trend and style video. It's really kind of a combination. We are talking about the trends in cardigans, but also really more importantly, probably how to style them so that we look current. You know, I think it's important, especially over 50, for us to do our best to look current, to look kind of with it. You know, I always say, don't try to look younger, because when you do that, you actually just end up looking kind of clownish and inauthentic. But when we try to look current of the moment, then we look like we're with it, and we actually end up looking a little bit more youthful and our very best. So I think it's important to kind of stay up with the trends, what's really in vogue, what's out, that sort of thing. That said, you know what, ladies, it all boils down to wearing what you love, what you do feel confident in, and what reflects your personal style. So you need to cherry pick from this video today. I always encourage that. In fact, you take what I say, you sieve it through the sifter of your personal style, your body shape, your personal needs, your real lifestyle, and decide what works for you. But if we want to stay current, there are some things to be aware of when it comes to cardigans. And like me, you probably want to be able to step out in confidence in your cardigans. So let's take that deep dive into cardigans. Now, of course, as we go through this video today, I'm going to be showing you a lot of things. A good bit of what I'm showing you is available. I've modeled a few outfits fresh for you today, but I'm also going to be showing you some clips from previous videos. I'm going to do my best to link everything below in the description box, and maybe we'll throw some links up here too in the YouTube links on the screen. But if I ever just like skip something, because I'm going to be showing a lot today and you don't see a link for it, just ask in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. I'd be glad to do that. A cardigan can make or break your outfit, like any completer piece. A completer piece is that third piece, that extra piece that you add to your outfit that really makes it look pulled together and polished. So yeah, adding a cardigan not only adds a little warmth, it really is a great way to pull an outfit together. But if you choose the wrong one, unfortunately, it really can detract from your outfit. So first of all, let's talk about what is definitely out in cardigans, which you don't want to wear. I looked back at my blog post. I've been blogging at dressformyday.com for almost 8 years now, and it just so happens that the very first post I put up in March of 2018 was a cardigan. And it was a cardigan that is very much out of style right now. It's one of those long, drapey, multicolored cardigans. The main thing about it that's out of style is that it is long and drapey. There's not a button to be found. It's just long and drapey on me. That's just the best way to describe it. Ladies, if you have one of those in your closet, I hate to tell you this, but it just needs to go. I don't have this cardigan anymore in my closet, and I don't have any like it. Anything that has that waterfall effect, that, you know, ripples there in the front, little waves and everything. Honestly, here is my biggest tip for you when you are examining, editing your wardrobe right now. If it doesn't button, you probably want to get rid of it. There is a caveat, so hold on, don't run to your closet quite yet. But for the most part, the cardigans that are in style right now do feature buttons. In fact, surprisingly, the most stylish cardigan right now is that old-fashioned, just crew neck button-up cardigan. I kind of think of it like at Ann Taylor. I think they call it the Ann cardigan. It's just that really basic, classic cardigan. It really is having a moment. So any cardigan, though, that does not have buttons, those that just drape, they just kind of hang open. For the most part, you are going to want to move those out of your closet. Either donate them or reuse them in some other way. In fact, what I tend to do with cardigans like that are out of style is I use them as a robe that I wear over my pajamas or over my loungewear in the evenings or in the morning. So just right there at home, I snuggle up in that cozy cardigan and I get a good use out of it, but it does not go out with me anywhere. Now, I said there is a caveat, and that is there are cardigans right now that are very on trend that do not have buttons, but they wrap, so you can tie them. You're going to want to tie them or belt them. In fact, here's my biggest tip, ladies. You could turn it off right now, but please don't do that. The biggest tip is the best way to wear your cardigans right now is to button them. So you're going to wear a button-up cardigan, and you're going to button it up. If it doesn't have buttons, you want to tie it with a sash or you want to belt it. So we're closing those cardigans up. That's really the biggest takeaway from this, is that I've learned that this year, 2025 into 2026, we are buttoning up or belting up our cardigans. Now, hey, is the cardigan police going to come after you and pull you over if you've left your cardigan unbuttoned like I've done here or unbelted like I've done here? No, you absolutely can do that. I don't think there's any problem with that. But let's just understand that the most current look, the most stylish look for right now is to go ahead and belt it or button it. Before I talk more about how to style those cardigans though, let's talk a little bit about silhouettes. What's in as far as that silhouette of that cardigan? What about that really oversized cardigan that you bought in the last 2 or 3 years? Well, I would say that the really oversized, like it looks like maybe your dad could wear it or something, that might be out. We're probably going to still see younger women wearing that, but I really think for us mature women, those of us over 40 or whatever, we're going to look a little bit more current, stylish, and also just better in our clothes if our cardigans are a little bit more fitted, but not tight, not necessarily bodycon. Now this year, one of the silhouettes that really is on trend is that cinched waist cardigan. I am seeing it everywhere. In fact, I'll throw up a few pictures here. I have one that I've worn in a video about a month or 2 ago, I think, and I didn't really even style it necessarily the best way, I don't think. I had just gotten it, was playing around with it, wore it with some velvet pants here, but at least you can see the cardigan. It definitely has a cinched waist. It doesn't mean there's no elastic there. It's just the way the sweater has been knit. It really comes in at the waist, nips in at the waist just a little bit, flares out just a little bit over the hips. I am seeing more exaggerated forms of that silhouette too. Some of them are a little longer, some of them are a little bit more like hip length, different lengths, but definitely that cinched waist is really dominating right now. It's a really big trend right now. I think probably the best way to wear that, I don't know, you could wear it over wide leg pants, you could wear it kind of like I did here with kind of a straight leg, but I'm also seeing it with those with just a little bit of a flare right there at the ankle or just above the ankle, kind of an ankle length pant. Really kind of cute. Kind of need the body to wear that though, and I don't really feel like I do, but that is so on trend. But once again, just that basic button-up cardigan is very on trend, the one that is kind of waist length or just at the top of your hips. When we're talking lengths, in fact, I would say that a cropped length cardigan is still very on trend. When I say cropped, that could mean waist length, so hitting right at the top of your high waist jeans or high waist trousers, but also just kind of that more standard fit of resting on the top of your hips, which is where a lot of my cardigans fit. What we're not seeing are the cardigans that I would say kind of go down your torso, low on the hips. Those seem a little dated right now. Except, once again, when we're talking about a wrap cardigan, like this one that I'm wearing here, that really does wrap. It's meant to be big and bulky and bunchy. And then that cardigan is going to be obviously longer because you are going to belt it at the waist. It really is going to even fit over your derriere, over your hips and everything, just belting nicely at the waist, kind of giving some shape. So one of the biggest trends we're really seeing in cardigans is just shape, adding some shape to your body. So that cinched waist, belting in, buttoning up, all those things to really add some shape to your body and to your outfit. Remember, trends don't happen in a vacuum. They happen, there's kind of like a boomerang effect. And of course, we are continuing to wear that wide leg trouser. We're continuing to wear straight leg trousers with a more relaxed leg to them, kind of almost really like a wide leg trouser, a wide leg jean. And so therefore, we do want more shape up top. We want a little bit closer to the body, a little bit snugger fit, but not necessarily bodycon. That said, I am seeing cardigans that do fit close to the body, like I am wearing here, want a nice button up. Notice this one has a little bit of a puffed shoulder on the sleeve, not drastic, but a little bit. So once again, adding some shape. That puffed sleeve there would really balance out a wide leg jean or a wide leg trouser. Here I've worn it over some kind of wide leg corduroy, so it really kind of balances out, gives you a nice silhouette for your body here. So you can see how this is not just a trend that, you know, somebody woke up and said, oh, let's change everything with cardigans. This is a result or a response to some of the trousers and skirts we're wearing. One of the biggest trends we're seeing, though, in cardigans really has to do with the neckline. And this is kind of frustrating for me, too, because in just recent years, it was very on trend to buy a V-neck line, a V-neck button-up sweater. And so I have some here that I'm showing you. Well, does that mean we have to ditch them? No, but the crew neck, just keep in mind that that crew neck cardigan, a button-up like I'm wearing today, this one's kind of a looser fit. This is what I would say is very on trend as far as the fit. It hits me just, you know, kind of covers my hips. It's full in the body, but it's a crew neck. It's kind of full in the sleeves. Also, they don't fit just real close to my arms. They're kind of especially loose here at the wrist, which just seems to be really current right now. I'm wearing it buttoned up, at least partially. I've got, let's see, I got a button open at the top. I think I've buttoned all the way at the bottom. So just a very current silhouette. This particular sweater, unfortunately, is sold out from J. Crew, but the silhouette is what I want you to see here. Very on trend. On the other hand, I do have those V-necks in my closet, and maybe you do too. So how can we make those look modern? Well, the key is buttoning them up. Now, can you wear it unbuttoned like I've done here? Like I said, nobody's going to come and arrest you for doing that. And certainly at times we just want to unbutton. Maybe you get a little overheated. You want to unbutton that cardigan. It's just not a problem. It's certainly okay. I do think if you want to unbutton your cardigan or leave them unbuttoned, then it's really even all the more important to have on a belt under there, something to add a little definition to the look. I just think is really key. You know, maybe at least tuck in your shirt. Just do something to add a little definition is definitely going to look more current than if you just wear a long top underneath there. Let's talk some more about how to wear a cardigan. So we've established that that button-up cardigan or the wrap cardigan are the most on trend right now. The crew neckline is the most popular right now, the most current, but the V-neck is still okay as long as it is a button-up cardigan and as long as you do make the effort to button up at least part of the way. That cinched waist is really popular right now too. So how do you wear them? You can wear them alone, and that is like the trend really of the year as far as cardigans is to wear that button-up cardigan as though it is a pullover. And so really all the things you would do with a pullover, you can now do with a button-up cardigan. You could wear it by itself, maybe put underneath a camisole or a tank if that makes you feel more comfortable, especially in the cold. And I've done that some, but you could also add another piece underneath there. Now in the past, we've worn a lot of t-shirts under our cardigans, but I'm just not seeing that anymore. I'm not seeing a lot of just t-shirts, like basic white t-shirt under a cardigan. Instead, right now, I'm seeing a lot of turtlenecks, like I'm wearing today, just a turtleneck under that button-up cardigan, or mock neck t-shirts, you know, or mock neck, kind of a turtleneck, but a mock neck, like this one here with a little lettuce edge ruffle on it. That one's from J. Crew, so underneath that button-up cardigan. Another thing you could do, of course, is to wear a button-up shirt under your cardigan. That does not seem as current as the turtleneck. You know, these are all just kind of give and take. Take what you want to from this, remember. But a button-up shirt certainly still works under that button-up cardigan, buttoned up. Now here I've worn a white shirt with the cardigans unbuttoned, but I did belt the jeans and everything, so I think that definitely helps. Also, a flannel shirt works. I don't think that's like the most 2025, 2026 look, but it definitely works. And here I think I did leave it unbuttoned. You can button it up if you want to or not. But also I think really one of the most modern things right now, and this is really great for those of you who go to work, is a silk blouse under a cardigan. Silk blouses are they just are very current right now too. We're just kind of that, that quiet luxury look, and really you can't get any more quiet luxury, I think, than a silk blouse with a beautiful cashmere cardigan over it. I mean, how luxurious is that? Keep it really simple so it just looks really effortless. So that's a really smart way too. Whether you button it up or not, still the button-up cardigan, whether you're buttoning it or not, the button-up cardigan, the one with some buttons on there, is definitely going to be your most current look. Of course, you can wear your cardigans over jeans, over trousers, skirts. I'm loving them with skirts. Here I've worn a beautiful skirt from Lily Silk. It's that beautiful wool, I think silk blend skirt, just so lovely. And I have put that wrap cardigan of mine over this. This is a Ralph Lauren cardigan. It is pricey. It was very pricey for me. Last I looked, as I videotaped this just yesterday, it was 25% off at Nordstrom in their Cyber Monday deals. I don't know, fingers crossed that it still is, because this is a good buy. Now this kind of cardigan, I haven't really talked about the prints or the colors that are trending. I guess really colors, you can wear any color that works for your wardrobe. Of course, brown is really big right now. Gray is big. All the neutrals are nice. The colors, I would say, all the colors that are on trend, really, and the colors that you love to wear. But when it comes to patterns, there are two very distinct patterns that we are really seeing in multiples this year. One is the Fair Isle, which of course I'm wearing right now. So any Fair Isle button-up crew neck sweater is going to be so on trend right now. We're seeing a lot of them. I'm also seeing a lot of Argyle, by the way, so let's make that 3 patterns. Argyle is really here too. We're seeing a lot of that. And then third is this, what I'm calling, they actually call this a Fair Isle, but to me this is more of a kind of an Americana type look. Think Pendleton, Ralph Lauren, just that kind of a little bit of a throwback look, almost a little Native American, I guess you would say, but just, very, it's kind of like that yesteryear look, and it really is having a resurgence right now. So I really love this look. Once again, though, I've pulled it together. I've done it 2 ways here. First of all, I belted it, which is really my favorite. I've belted it just as snug as I can at my smallest part of my waist, but you could use the belt that comes with the cardigan and just pull it together that way too. It just gives you a really nice look. Once again, remember we're adding some shape to our outfit with that slightly flared midi length skirt. I promised you a fun trend to try, and that is clustering brooches. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cardigans that actually you purchase with a cluster of pins or brooches already on them. Now those are extremely pricey. Of course, you're paying for a sweater and you're paying for a cluster of pins, so of course they're pricey. But why not create your own? That's a great way actually to take a cardigan that's already in your closet and make it look even more modern. I do suggest that you go with either 3 or 5 brooches. You kind of want an odd number is what generally looks best artistically. 5, I think, could weigh down your sweater if they're too heavy, so just be careful about that. I chose 3 because a couple of mine are a little heavy. I just pulled brooches from my drawer. Now this one with the pearl teardrop you probably saw last week. It was in last week's video with my gift guide for women. Beautiful little pin. We can see if it's still available. The other 2 are not. They are several years old from my drawer. So you could purchase a few brooches if you wanted to. I'll definitely link some below. But also just pull some from your jewelry box, your drawer. I would just choose some that kind of go together, right? They don't have to look exactly like they are, or purchased at the same time. They're not a set, but they just work together like mine do here. So it's just a really fun trend. We're just seeing a lot of that. How are you going to get them to stay and not pull down? Well, these are doing okay for me here, but you always could, maybe pin a little bit kind of close onto your bra strap, or even if you put a camisole or a tank underneath the sweater. You might could pin there to give you a little help. But I think it's a really fun trend, and I am all in on this one. So I hope this has been helpful, and I do have 4 action points that I've taken already, and I encourage you to take these, and I think it will really help you to step out in confidence in cardigans, knowing that you do look current and stylish. The first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is move those outdated cardigans out of your closet. If they are truly outdated, like they are that waterfall cardigan, they are just all that drapey stuff, definitely move those out. Maybe repurpose them, like I said, as a robe that you wear over your pajamas, or just donate it, whatever, move it on out, ladies. My next tip is to try on the cardigans that remain in your wardrobe, those that you think, okay, I think these pass the test, they look current, they're stylish, then figure out some ways to wear them in a modern way. Of course, you're going to want to start with some modern, current pieces. So that would be those wide leg or straight leg jeans. You could go with a midi length A-line skirt like I've worn in one of our looks today. You could even still wear cardigans with dresses, but again, you want to belt them or tie them or wear them buttoned up. My third action tip is if it doesn't have buttons, then you're going to need to look for a belt. So, pull out those cardigans that maybe are a wrap cardigan, or it's just one that does not feature any buttons and you're just like, I want to keep it in my closet. Then you're going to need to make sure that you can belt it. And then action step number 4 is try that cluster brooch trend. I think it's so fun. Go through your jewelry drawer, see if you have something that would work here, and pull you out 3 or 5 brooches and try them on a cardigan. Right now during the holidays is a really fun time to do that. I'm telling you, just some jeans, a pretty colored cardigan, and then adding those brooches, that will make you look festive right there. You'll be party ready in no time. I hope these tips have helped you, and that when you walk out in a cardigan the next time, you will feel stylish, on trend, current, but most importantly, confident. Don't forget to check below for links to anything that you saw that you might be interested in. If it's available, I'm going to give you a link. And if I didn't, just ask for one. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, but I also would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. I have turned my memberships on. Now, nothing has changed here. On Wednesdays, I will continue to deliver style videos for everybody, but I will be having some members-only videos coming. And of course, already I am trying to prioritize the comments of our members, and they also do get to see the videos earlier than everybody else. So that's kind of a nice little perk. I want to give a big thank you to Wendy Griffith, who has joined me on the level where she's going to get to see some members only videos. So I hope you'll join her there. I do have one of those coming later this month. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again next Wednesday. Bye now.